Yeah. All right, everyone. Hello. This is a super impromptu, fun little meeting that we're going to do because I just got back from Greece and I thought, what a better time to talk about going on vacation and not working with a different view. So I have the lovely Audie Wall with me and Kirsten Paris, who amazingly took care of my business while she also got 7 of her own clients under contract. So super incredible. And we've been helping each other out for what, like almost 2 years now, I feel like, for our vacations.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's really been, to me, I think it's been a super a learning process for sure. I know Kirsten has her little ones that she might have to go off, but I just wanted to bring her on to talk a little bit about what it looks like and how we kind of started to set this up. So you want to set the stage a little bit, Kirsten, on like how we start?
Yeah, it definitely is funny as you say that it is like making my wheels turn here. It has evolved from when we first started. So when we first started, it was probably 18 months ago. And it's, interestingly enough, like we just kind of said, hey, we need basically like an accountability person. Like if I go out of town, can you cover for me? If you go out of town, can I cover for you? And what cover means is probably different for every person. But Corey and I have always wanted, when we go out of town, we really want the ability to unplug and be with our families. And so we'll talk a little bit about what unplug look like. It looks like, it doesn't mean like I'm going to turn off my phone and throw it in the water and say good luck, Corey. We have, but it's very planned out and it's very specific. And I will say that now, and Corey, you correct me if I'm wrong, like, every time we've done this and we've probably gone on, I mean, even just like weekend things, we've probably covered for each other over 5 times now. And I feel like it's just gotten better and better. And part of it is the confidence of knowing your partner's business. And okay, Corey would be fine if I did this. Corey would be fine if I made this decision without asking her about it. So it is an evolving process. Be patient with the process and just open and transparent and discussing through it. But overall, that's kind of how it started. This is where we are now. And it's just really great. And I'm super grateful for it as well.
That's awesome. Well, Audie has left the building.
Bye, Audie. There was snacks in the living room.
Yeah, they're like snacks. I have this beautiful piece of artwork though.
Oh, that is lovely.
So yes, absolutely. And this time I feel like I was gone for 2 weeks and I truly felt like I just unplugged. And I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but I just like week 1, I was kind of antsy and checked in a couple times. And then week 2, I just kind of, but I think that is equated to you and Stephanie and Courtney, my transaction coordinator, just kind of protecting me in a way. Like you guys were protecting me and not telling me things so that I could really unplug. And that was so nice. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I think that, at least for me, that initial time, those first few days when you leave are very stressful. And part of it is because, I don't know about you, Corey, but for me, I have not done a good job of tying up loose ends until the day before. And I should probably start that process more like realistically, like the week before, 5 days before. So those first few days of vacation, I'm usually tying up loose ends because I don't want to just dump a bunch of crud on your desk and be like, good luck, bye. Um, so that is my thought. And then, and then you get to unplug. And this time for you, I was so glad that you were able to unplug. And I absolutely would have reached out, like if I thought that it was something that I needed your true opinion on. But otherwise, I know you well enough now and know your business enough or how you do business well enough now that I felt confident in making some of those decisions.
Yes, I love that. And so a couple things that Kirsten and I've done, like tips and tricks. definitely like 2 to 3 days, we try to get together, whether that's Zoom like this or in person. And we have typically created some type of Excel sheet. We love our Excel sheets,
I'm
especially
in it right now.
and what we'll do is like client names, information, make sure, what they're under contract for, or if they're active buyers, what our listings are, and then any notes, so that therefore, when you come back, you can kind of look at that spreadsheet. And I think it's helpful. We just kind of go through it, right? We sit in those 3 days before, sit and go through it and talk through it. And then we make sure that our clients are aware that we're going out of town. I had a client that was like, hey, I want to see something. And I set up something thinking it was kind of not going to happen and didn't share. But anyways, that's learning lessons.
It's fine. They're under contract.
They're under contract. So crazy. So anyways, just make sure your clients are aware, let them know that they're in good hands. And then I have a personal phone and a work phone now. So my work phone got shipped off to my assistant, which was really nice. So she took over calls. I'm trying to think of other things that leading up to
Showing assistant.
Oh, a showing assistant. Yeah. Like Kirsten and I have found that at first we did the whole like, we'll show property for each other. And then we both decided that that was just not working out for us, because we both have busy lives, busy businesses. And so we have a showing partner that I scheduled months beforehand, because I think that that has been truly helpful to both of us, having someone that we just pay and they go out and show property, because especially in today's market, like clients need to see things ASAP. So, excuse me, making sure that that gets done too. Anything else like the beforehand piece?
Yeah, there's just a lot of logistics to it, and it's just going to depend on what market you're in. So the other thing that Corey does is, as we're going through, or that we do as we're going through each of our clients. So like listings, again, depending on your market and your MLS, you need to add that person as like Corey added me as a co-lister. That way, when buyers agents would come and see the homes, or if they had questions about it, Corey had an agent remarks, contact co-listing agent for any questions. I had that client's contact information. I was asking them about their sewage fun. And then on showing time, put that or whatever your whatever, depending on your market, whatever your like where you schedule your showings, put that person on your showing time. That way they can approve showings, or they can see if they haven't been approved. They can push feedback to your sellers. The other people that you want to keep in the loop is if you have any under contract, your vendors. So your home inspectors, your lenders, your attorneys, those are other people to bring into the loop. And then, the other thing, and Corey, I might be putting the cart before the horse here, but everybody asks like, well, like, how do you guys compensate each other? And that Corey and I are probably not the best people to ask about this, because this is such a fluid topic for us, because we're both like, what? I'll just do it. Whatever. It makes sense. But for Corey and I, it does make sense. Like, because truly, like she covered for me when I was having a baby and I was able to unplug, and I was able to cover for. So I feel like for Corey and I, it all like works out at the end of the day. So it's like, I don't feel like we need to nail down compensation. Like she worked hard to earn that business. I don't need a piece of that. Likewise, I worked hard to earn my business. She doesn't expect a piece of it when I go out. So that's how we kind of have it set up, is that she is my business partner, and I'm happy to do this for her while she's gone, feeling with the confidence of knowing that she would do the same she does the same for me when I'm out. But that will totally depend on you and whoever your partner is when you go. But that's just how Corey and I do it.
Yeah, because we know some people that will do like a flat rate fee, and they just feel good about that, like per offer or whatever that looks like. But honestly, I feel like for us, yeah, obviously money is always a hard conversation, but for us, it's always just been like, just going to help you and you're going to help me, and that's how that works, and it works in the wash. But Kirsten now needs to take a 2-week vacation because but
No, it works out. I feel like I really do feel like it all works out. Like I really do.
But we also, the other thing right before you leave too is, like Kirsten said a little bit earlier, is tying up all the loose ends. Like there are certain things that you know are going to happen, like the due diligence end dates, or if that's true in your market, if you have that, or when you close, and if someone's going to be at the closing table, like look at all the dates and the things that you need to get tied up, and make that happen. Like, I was making sure that one of my land deals has the septic ordered and the survey person, and they're working with the builder and all those things, and just making sure that that's buttoned up as much as you can before you leave. I think that's really helpful. And then there really should be a buffer day right before you leave where you're not doing anything. And then
Or you're not scheduled anything.
yeah, no, didn't schedule anything, like me, who showed a house, which is, yeah. Anyways, but the other thing too is, oh shucks, the buffer day, mom brain. It's all gone.
Sorry.
Nope, it's okay. A day before. Anyways, it'll probably come back to me. So anything else before leading up to the trip?
No, and when we talk about this is just some of the small details, but we talk about like letting our clients know. One of the things that's helpful that we've liked to do, because we don't want to be completely unaware of the communication for our clients and for our contracts. So one of the things that we'll do is we'll do a group text. So like my clients, Juan, this is Corey, and this Kirsten, Juan, and Corey in a text message, and I'm like, my phone's on do not disturb. I don't have a separate work phone. It's like work goals, but so my phone's on do not disturb during vacation, so I'm not hearing it go off 100 times. But I am, when I do plug back in, I have all that documentation. And same, like if Corey's emailing my clients or emailing the attorney, she's copying me, but she's just taking the lead on all of it.
Yeah, that's so good. And the thing I was going to say that I finally remembered was I don't recommend doing a long 1-week trip or 2-week trip like this. I would start with a weekend or something like that with your business partner. And I would, of course, talk about everything and make sure everybody feels comfortable, because the last thing I know for Kirsten and I, the last thing that anybody ever wants is like our friendship comes first. And, when you talk about money and business and stuff like that, it can really start to mess with relationships. So making sure your communication is fluid and you're really open about everything, I think that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's the nuts and bolts of the lead up. Yeah.
Awesome. So going into it, what Kirsten and I have done is set up times and dates that we are going to check in. So we have started with like an hour a day that you're going to work. But with these bigger trips and with the time change, I think it was easier just to check in like once or twice a week. Would you agree that I don't know, you've done everything you can at that point, right?
I agree. And again, I'm grateful that we started at once a day check-ins when we first started this, because I didn't have the confidence then to say, okay, Corey would be comfortable for me talking to her clients about this, whereas before I'd have been like, Corey, talk to your clients during your 1 hour a day about this, like this due diligence request or whatever. But now I feel I'm good with that. Like, yeah. So if it was truly like, do we ever have any true emergencies in our business? And even if we did, like, what could you do differently about it that I couldn't do? So yes, I agree. I think that the once every couple day check-in is perfect. It's ideal, especially for the person on the vacation. And, but I think it takes time to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And something else, I had my assistant check in every Thursday with my sellers, people who are under contract. I do that anyways. And that was really nice to have her do that. And same with that communication thread. She was able to help someone with their boundaries. Sometimes I feel like we're counselors, and she felt comfortable telling this person, like, communication is key. Please, make sure you discuss your boundaries with us and we will help facilitate that. And so those kinds of conversations, you have to trust the people that you leave your business with, that they will have, do all of that in the best interest. The other things that Kirsten mentioned at the beginning was vendors. And I think vendors are a super important piece during this whole process too. My brain, Kirsten, like, I am so glad this is a women's group, because there are so many moms that would totally know where I'm at right now.
Yeah, like we get it.
Oh my gosh, vendors needing to be in the loop. There was something important with that, and it'll come
It's
back.
profound. It'll come back. Yes.
What else during the time that is important to do? Take notes, I guess, obviously, like make sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. Take notes. So like Corey said, we have we have a Google sheet, which is nice because you can see updates live that we both just edit. And so like I got a call about one of her listings from another buyer's agent, like an inquiry about the septic or the sewage or whatever. And so I just typed all that in. I found out the answer with the seller. I put that in there. So when Corey got home, if she needed to had the seller update the property disclosure, or she needed to update the MLS, she could. So it's kind of, yeah, definitely taking notes, because if I try to do it at the end of 2 weeks, like, oh, who called me? Like I would never remember. So just be real time with your notes.
Yeah. Trying to think of anything else. It's just really important that you're not working with a different view. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just
Oh yeah.
the most important thing.
And really, like it is in this, like I'm not trying to do anything to bruise anybody's ego, but there is nothing that I can do that Corey cannot do. Truly. My clients might know me, that's fine, but Corey is an amazing top producing agent. Like she will take care of my clients just as well if not better than I can. So part of that is for the person going on vacation, the trust of leaving your business. I'm not saying leave it to Joe Schmo or Jane Schmo. It's got to be somebody that you trust and and that that's why you work up in smaller segments. But like we've just gotten to this point now where we really trust each other. So I mean, I would be very intimidated to leave my business with somebody that I didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's got to be somebody that kind of works similarly to you do, that will be professional and like if you're just very tender with your clients, that will be too. Like if you're very direct kind of person, maybe you find somebody who's direct like you. So just maybe finding that balance as well. I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah, don't work with a different view. Like that's just more stressful. You work your ass off all year long to have a good vacation. So you might as well go and enjoy it. Don't go spend a bunch of money, take some time off work, do all the logistics and coordinating just to be there when you in work and piss off your family.
Yes, exactly. And the vendor thing came back to me, surprise. So making sure you understand each other's vendor list and who you would recommend. So if a new buyer came or someone did get under contract, like the inspectors that this person uses, because you want to run the business with the same vendor relationship. So an example, Kirsten handled this so well. She knows who my lender partner is, and they weren't able to provide a loan product that helped my client. And so she said, hey, have you thought about, exploring a different loan product? My clients were ready for it, but you contacted my relationship and made sure that they didn't have the loan product first, and then went to someone who, I feel comfortable with, that's a friend of yours. And that just works out so well. So I think it's very important that you don't use your vendors, and make sure that you use each other's, who your relationships are. Sorry.
Yep. The
Sure.
only other thing I would say that during is I don't want to diminish the fact that there aren't emergencies. There are what feel like emergencies, absolutely. And there are times where like there are situations where I'm like, I really need Corey's advice on this, like for her client. So I don't want to diminish that fact and say that it never exists. But it would be a last ditch effort. So my other recommendation for during is do have a way to be able to reach your person no matter what. So like my phone's on do not disturb the whole time I'm on vacation, except for those hours or whatever that I'm checking in. But Corey's on my favorite list. So if she calls me, it's going to come through. And if she calls me when I'm on vacation, I know that I need to answer it. So, yeah, I don't want to diminish the fact that emergencies never happen, but I use that very sparingly. And even when Corey was in Greece, I had her personal cell phone number,
Mhm.
so that if I really needed her, I could call her or text her on that prior to our check-in date and time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, and if that's everything during, we can always come back to it, but after, we always have a catch up, so similar to leaving, but we always have a catch up and go through each of the clients and talk through it. And we kind of did a quick debrief. Honestly, my business felt or was a little slower than it has been, so that was good. And Kirsten's involved in two of or one of our land things that we have going on, so that was helpful too. But yeah, catching up with each other and talking through the notes and looking at it and all that good stuff. But also giving yourself some grace and giving yourself a day or two. Kirsten said this best, taking some baby steps back into your business, because it can be a lot to get all caught up on things.
Yep, and I think the other part of coming back into it is definitely the debrief, but what Corey and I love to do is, how did that go for you? How did that go? Corey asked me 100 times when I had my baby, did that go well for you? Like, did you really feel like you got to, just focus on your baby? And then I asked her, like, did that feel overwhelming for you? Like, was there something that I could do differently? So really, that's how this thing is going to morph into something that is great. And every trip, I think, is going to be different depending on where your business is. Corey was fortunate in that her business, like she had just closed a bunch of stuff, so that she was she was able to unplug a little bit easier. Not to say it would be impossible, just a little bit easier than she would have been 30 days prior to. So yeah, so debriefing, and then, how did this feel for you on both sides of this, and how can we improve this for next time? I think is important too. And
Yeah.
being transparent, like Corey and I are very good about being honest with each other. Like, I think the first time I went away, I was the first one. I think I was the first one to go away when we did this, and I went away for a week, and it was like right in the height of like, holy smokes, if you don't see something within the first minutes on the market, it's gone. And we weren't very good about having showing partners in place. Like, we've learned this, we were not perfect when we first started this. And she said, like, this, I had so many active buyers that were ready to put in offers, and I didn't have a transaction coordinator at the time. So it was a lot. Like, it was a little bit overwhelming. And Corey said that, she's like, I felt like it was a lot with buyers. And so we've worked on that. Like, we've put these showing partners in place. I've got a transaction coordinator that's going to do a lot of the documentation stuff. And so does Corey. So it's an evolving process.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think those two pieces, if you take anything, get a showing partner and get a transaction coordinator while you're gone. I think those two pieces can really dredge down someone else's business. And I think that
Mhm.
that's huge and yeah, the best advice to give anyone. And letting them know you're out of your TC, let them know you're gone too, of course.
And prep your clients for all that. So, like, hey, client, this is not just Corey that's going to be me while I'm gone, but this is also our showing partner who, if you want to see something while I'm gone, is going to show you property. This is also the TC that you're going to hear from. So prepping your clients for all the new pieces, because otherwise it's just been you prior to, or unless you have a team.
Yeah. And I think just finding people too, like I had come home and the next day I had an active buyer want to see a house. It was only 5 minutes from my house, guys. And I was like, oh, I'm going to show it. Well, my assistant knew better and she came. It's okay. It's okay. She came and she told Carrie and she said she's gonna show this out. And I love that she was protecting me from going to see it, because I was exhausted. I probably wouldn't have been my best self, and I needed to be with my kids and my family. Yeah, you can have some water. And Audie's back. Can you
Snack
go
time's
home,
over. Now he
Kirsten?
wants mom's drinks.
Yeah. Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, handsome.
um yeah, so buffer days on both sides, prepare everybody before, catch up with everybody after. Like, I've been on the phone with my assistant, Kirsten, Courtney, my TC. Um, and just,
Check-in days.
yeah, just make sure I don't need that in my water, and just, yeah, check in, make sure everything is good. And my next piece, because it's been about 3 days since I've been home now, is starting to contact some of my sellers that are still not under contract. So that'll be next on my list to call them and see what our next steps are.
But it did.
Awesome.
I felt like it went really well.
Yes, thank you, Kirsten. It was
No, thank
It
you.
was so good. I truly was able to unplug. The first couple days were hard, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, I could get used to
No, we'll get there.
this.
Hi, Audie. I love the faces you're making.
This kid, I think he's like worried I'm gonna leave again for 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a little separation anxiety. Anyway, okay, well, I'm gonna end this recording and we can finish our. Thank you guys. Hope you have a great day and hope you can go on vacation without distractions.
bye.